everyone, welcome to the session. My name is Aditi, and today we are going to talk about techniques for successful cross-cultural communication. We all know that how effectively we can handle miscommunications and cultural misunderstandings in the workplace. Cross-cultural communication can be a bit tricky, but in diverse environments where people have different customs, beliefs, and communication styles, we have to follow these techniques, right? But with these right techniques, we can navigate challenges very easily. So let's dive in. Okay, so first of all, let's understand why this miscommunication happens between two people or a group of people. Miscommunication often arises from assumptions. For example, in some cultures, direct eye contact is a sign of confidence, while in others, it may seem like a bit disrespectful. In another example, in United States, being on time is considered to be respectful, but in some cultures, flexibility in time is also accepted, but arriving late is not accepted, and it may create a negative impact. To bridge these gaps in between, we need awareness and empathy. So, how do we handle these differences when they come up? Let's look at some of the tips for that. Do you all know what does ethnocentrism mean? First, let's talk about it. This is when someone believes their culture or way of doing things is superior to others. This is one of the most common cause of cultural misunderstanding. For instance, in US or UK, a manager might just grab a coffee for the team, and that's considered quite normal and shows equality for everyone. But in cultures with strict hierarchies, like some Asian countries might see such a task might be degrading for a manager. Suppose, let's say a manager might say like this way, suppose I'll grab a coffee for the team, it's not a big deal. But some of the colleagues sitting aside might whisper to each other saying, why is a manager even doing this? Is he losing his authority? Something like that. So the solution for this is be aware of cultural norms and clarify your intentions when actions might be misinterpreted. Okay, now let us discuss how cultures define right and wrong differently in their own way. A common example is attitude towards time. So in Germany, time is highly valued, meetings are concise and punctuality is crucial. On the other hand, in Middle Eastern countries, meetings might start late because building relationship before the meeting is prioritized over sticking to the clock. So suppose a colleague A from Germany might say, we agreed the meeting would start at 9 a.m. sharp. Wasn't it still begun? And suppose a colleague B from Middle Eastern country might say, relax, like let's have a tea break and let's get to know each other better before we start the meeting. So neither approach is right or wrong. It's just different in their own way. To navigate this, communicate expectations clearly and adapt where possible. So let's talk about communication differences, which goes beyond the words. For example, in Japan, it's common to use silence for disagreement, but in United States, direct speech is the norm. Let us take one example in this scenario. Suppose there is a meeting between two clients, and one is from America and other person is from Japan. Okay, so the American client might say, might ask, do you agree with this proposal? And the Japanese client might just take a slight pause without saying anything. Then the other client from America might be confused. So, and might ask, so is that a yes or a no? He will be confused, right? So that pause actually means no in Japan. But without understanding this cultural cue, it can lead to a lot of confusion, right? So similarly, in India, the head verbal might mean agreement, curiosity, depending upon the context. So the tip is always clarify non-verbal cues if you're unsure. A simple small question like, can you elaborate, or can you be more specific, or is that a yes or a no? Could you please clarify on this? Can make a lot of difference. So now let's talk about resolving miscommunication. It doesn't have to be complicated. I will be giving you 3 simple tips that anyone can follow irrespective of their workplace. So let's go ahead with tip number 1. That is CALM method. CALM, CALM method, where C stands for check your emotions. Take a moment before reacting. A, ask clarifying questions. Be curious, not confrontal. L, listen actively. Pay attention to both words and tone. M, manage your emotions response. So the tip number 2 is ACT, apology framework. Apologizing doesn't have to be feel awkward if you follow this ACT framework, where A stands for apologizing the mistake, recognize the issue openly. C stands for correct it wherever possible, offer a solution or an adjustment. T stands for transform the situation, use the moment to build the trust. Keep it short and sincere. A good apology is like a bridge, it connects what was broken. Okay, tip number 3. Let's talk about focus feedback tool. Finally, the feedback tool. Use the focus method for this. It's very effective. Where F stands for frame the conversation. Be clear about your intent. O stands for observe respectfully. Point out specific actions, not the personalities. C stands for collaborate. Ask for their perspective. U stands for understand. Listen carefully to their input. And S stands for summarize. Recap what you have both agreed on. Let's all aim to communicate better, one conversation at a time. That's all for today. Hope you have liked the video. Thank you.